we're going to farm ourselves a Sentinel ship in No Man's Sky. I believe that the economy level of the system that you go to still affects wild ships. So that means when we are looking for a good place to farm ships, you kind of have two ways to look at this. You can either have a reduced number of systems that you can go to and only go to 3-star economies, or you can check every galaxy that has the word dissonant on it. Now I'm going to use this one specifically for the video just because I already have now a dissonant system that can go and visit, but you should probably have a preference for higher leveled economies to give yourself that extra advantage for getting an S-class ship. Once we arrive, we need to go ahead and scan all of the planets, and then we can go ahead and check which one is the dissonant planet. Now, there are certain planet types that we need to avoid, and they are dead, exotic, or paradise planets. For whatever reason, they do not allow you to find the ships properly, apparently. This may well have been patched, but it's just what I'm seeing when I'm looking around at how the current state of finding these ships is. And we are okay with the boiling moon that we have here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using this one. Now, when it comes to ship collection, I actually find it easier in a smaller ship. And because I went a bit overboard, making my Corvette quite big, we're just going to use my normal fighter. We're, of course, going to go ahead and make planetfall. And once we're down here, we're going to send out a scan. Technically, there are two ways to go about locating the ships, but I'm going to put a preference on using the echolocators. This is because we can reuse the base to find multiple ships, and we can put a save point on it as well, so that if we clear an area out of ships, we can come back here in a couple of days' time when all the ships have respawned, rather than having to keep on using the AI fragments. So what that means is, when we are scanning, we are now looking around the planet here until we get like a flag symbol come up on the north pointer. Here we have an example right now, and it's just underneath me. And you see down there, I always think they look like flags. They kind of wave around a little bit, and we need to destroy those. Good thing is we can do this from the air. We don't need to land or anything. We'll just go ahead, take aim, start firing. This is going to summon in sentinels though, so just be careful. And we need to farm those until we get one of those echolocators to drop. I know I already have quite a few because I wanted to be well prepped for the video, but I still want one to drop in the video. So we'll go ahead and get that done. And once we have the echolocator drop, we can now go ahead and exit the planet so that we can lose the sentinels. So because they'll obviously interfere with the rest of it, I do recommend getting plenty of those farmed up to start with. We don't necessarily know if this is a planet that we want to farm yet. We may well end up moving on, or at least you may well end up moving on. I'm obviously just going to use this for the duration of the video, but I will show you how you may decide to move on, because the way this works is there is one pattern or style of Sentinel ship per system. So once you've seen one, if you don't like how it looks, you're going to want to find a new dissonant planet. But anyway, now that we're back within the atmosphere, we're going to go ahead and we're going to resonate. That's going to give us a harmonic echo to track, so we'll go towards that. Once we arrive, we're obviously going to land, and whilst we're at one of these camps, I recommend placing down a marker. So we're going to go for a save point here. Shouldn't be too difficult to have a little bit of sodium and metal plating, and then we can go ahead and interact with the rest of the base, in particular the computer panel here, which is going to allow us to start detecting ships. To start with, we want to scan the memory registers, where we'll be given a few very difficult sums to work out. That's going to be 4, 10, 15. And it is kind of in the same order from top to bottom, right? Because this doesn't look quite simple, but it is just going to be 4, 10, and 15. It's going to give us a spike dissonance to go and interact with. You could of course get a multi-tool as well, but for now we are only concentrating on the ships. With that done then, we are now leaving, and we're going to go and investigate the marker that the game has given to us, which will lead us to a downed ship. At this point then, you can pretty much evaluate whether or not you're going to like the look of the ship that you found. I actually don't like this one, but I'm going to continue anyway so that we can finish everything out. So we'll go ahead and interact with this, where we need to basically take out the brain. We can take the rest of it as well. And now we need to get some of the large crystals. So we need to have just a quick look around. We're going to go ahead and grab some of those, of which we'll need 3 to be able to activate the brain. This, of course, gives us a new waypoint to go and visit, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Where, again, we just interact with the main body of the little shrine that we've been given. These can obviously take different shapes depending on where you are. We'll get the brain purified, as it were. And then we can head on back to the ship, where we'll obviously go ahead and interact and repair the interface. At this point, we can finally see the stats of the ship, where we can obviously see the class and some of the upgraded slots. Something worth noting is a natural S-class seems to have better stats. If that is something that you are worried about, like if you feel like the game's so hard you need to min-max to the maximum, you may want to continue hunting until a natural S-class appears. Something to know about the upgraded tiles, though, is that these are actually seed written. If we were to take this ship and then we wait a couple of days for this to respawn, these 2 slots here will always be in the same spot, but the class, I don't believe, is linked to the spawn. In any case, in this instance, we're going to go ahead, we're going to take it and sell it. So that is currently now going to be in my inventory, but we're going to go ahead and show you what happens if we go back to the terminal instead. If you did in fact leave the save beacon there, you should still have the marker on the original computer that we used, which we should be able to return to and use again. Dissonance spike detected. Now, something I probably should have said earlier, you're going to want to make sure you're paying attention to the direction and distance that it's in. This is because, obviously, sometimes it can ping the same one, but it will ping all of the ones that it has before it pings the same one again. So to farm these, we'll want to do all of the ones from this one control panel, and that one is definitely further away, where, as you can see, we have another copy of the same ship, which, when I bring a purified brain back to it, we should see has different upgraded slots and is definitely not of the same class. This means if you have a few spare slots, you can obviously save a few of them up so that you can sell them off in bulk. All we'll need to do is summon the ship that we want to sell into the station and use the salvage as we continue farming for the perfect Sentinel. It's up to you. Maybe this was not the correct ship, in which case you would find a new system and do the same thing there. Or maybe this was a ship that you liked, in which case you would continue cycling them. If, let's say, our little save beacon area here runs out of ships to send us to, all we need to do is go maybe a quarter of the way around the planet in a different direction. We can dip back in. I like to look back towards the save point to make sure we're a few hours away. I like to look back at the save point to make sure we're a good distance away. That's like an hour, 40 minutes. That's not in seconds, right? At which point we can go ahead and pop another locator to get us a new camp, such as this one right here, where we could do the exact same thing. I'm obviously not going to do this in this case. You can go ahead, put yourself another save beacon down, and then get another group of ships so you can continue cycling along and get the one that you want.